Hello everyone and welcome back to Excellent Gamers. This time I want to talk about something very different. E3 is over, by the way. Last time I talked about my thoughts on all the conferences, and I know some of you watching have been making your own videos talking about all the great news. This is such an amazing year for video games, by the way. Um, but what happened was I was talking to a new member of our Facebook group, Axon Gamers, and his name is Sorin, by the way. And we were talking about games we love but never finished. So this is what this video is gonna be about, really. I picked 5 games. It was tough at first. I finished most of my favorite games, or games that I love in general, but there are some, for whatever reason, I never finished. And these 5, some make sense, some are uh, more sad than others. But I will talk about the games because I still own the games, and I would love to get back to them sometime. So let's get to it. First up, I guess let's talk about Eternal Sonata for Xbox 360. Back when I got the console, the Xbox 360, this game came with the console. I bought it off of a classmate who wanted to get rid of the console, and I had a PlayStation 3, but I wanted the 360 to play Tales of Vesperia, obviously. Um, but getting this with the console, this was the game I played before Vesperia, and Vesperia is probably the reason why I never finished this. Very unfortunate, but I loved this game, I really did. So in here you have music made by Motoi Sakuraba, who makes the music for the Tale series, Star Ocean, Golden Sun, and many others. You might recognize the songs when you hear them. But since the theme of Eternal Sonata is music, really, I think he did a great job here. I believe Sakuraba-san went all out trying to make some of the most memorable of his tracks, really, because this soundtrack here is amazing, and really liked the music back when I played it. But something else I want to mention about the game is the graphics, because now you have the free camera in pretty much every RPG you play, but in the PS1 era with the pre-rendered backgrounds, there would always be some great camera angles, and that's because you had pre-rendered backgrounds. It had to be like a set environment where you would run around, and that always looked very good. And in some PS2 games, and in this game right here, they recreated that using some amazing camera angles for each and every environment, but with 3D graphics. So without the pre-rendered backgrounds, it still has that amazing golden age RPG look to it. So the game looks great, and I think the Japanese voice actors are really nice. I can't remember if it's in this version, but I also got the game on PlayStation 3 and started replaying the game now on PS3 this year. And at least on there, you can play it in Japanese. But that's really good, and the characters are very charming. Some better than others. It's a bit of a hit and miss there, but I really like this game, and I will beat it eventually. But yes, sometimes with new releases, that's the thing back then. I also played World of Warcraft at the time, so very busy with that. Tales of Vesperia having priority, and of course new releases. Too much for me to keep playing this, unfortunately. But I had a great time with Eternal Sonata, and I will finish it eventually. Promise. Another game I just dropped is this one right here. So let's talk about that. But first, I wanna say that there's more to that than there's more of a story to this game and this series than just me dropping it for other releases. Talking about that for every single game here would have been boring, so I'm gonna add something new here. And the game is Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door anyway, and this is the third Mario RPG game. As a kid, I loved the Mario RPG games. The first one for the Super Nintendo I played on emulators, and I got to the final boss and talked to a classmate of mine who was stuck at the very same boss it was very hard. I don't know. I have not went back and finished that game actually. So that's another one I love but never finished. Super Mario RPG, huh? But yeah, I never owned that game. And then Paper Mario for Nintendo 64. I got to the final boss too, and that's a game I borrowed from a friend. So I had to return it before I actually beat the final boss. So that was a reoccurring theme for the Mario RPG series, and no exception with this one. I did not get to the final boss in this game, but discussing the game with my friend Android last year, it seems like I almost, or I was very close to beating this, because I was talking about things that happened so far in the story that he was surprised I didn't finish the game. And he suggested I would just insert my memory card and finish the game off, but I feel like replaying the whole thing because I remember every single stage and every single character in this game. I didn't read the dialogue as much as a kid back when I played games, and now as a huge fan of the Mario and Luigi series and the writing in those games, I can only imagine the dialogue in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door being amazing. So this is a game I want to replay from start. But until then, I just want to let you know that I love this game, and it's unfortunate I never finished it, but I did play the vast majority of the game. So there's that. So moving on to a Nintendo DS game, and this is a game in a series I love. I'm not sure if I want to say that I love the game, really. I did enjoy it a whole lot, but because the series is so dear to me, um, I have some great memories of first picking this game up and playing it, and that's Golden Sun, Dark Dawn. So Golden Sun: The Lost Age on Game Boy Advance. That's one of my favorite games of all time, or more. What I want to say more is that it's probably one of the best games I've ever played, or as far as JRPGs goes. Golden Sun: The Lost Age is like a perfect example of what a good game should be. It's not just a good game on its own, but it's a great sequel, and yeah, play it if you haven't. It's amazing. So after The Lost Age, which unfortunately ends with kind of a cliffhanger, um, this game came out 6 years later. Too late to pick up right where that game ended off. So to try to make their own thing here, having a time skip as far as story goes. So you're playing as new characters in Dark Dawn, and I enjoyed this just as much as the other two games. I really, really did. But I played this on a flash card, and I lost my save. so there's that. I rebought this game at a sale years later, and so I will replay the game, and I'm very much looking forward to do that because I had a great time playing this, and I love Golden Sun, but I just haven't been able to, or I just haven't done that. But I will do it on my DSi XL, which I really love. That's just a system that I can play any game on that, and I have a great time. So we'll replay Golden Sun Dark Dawn on that one someday. It's not very high on my priority list in my backlog, but definitely a game I'm looking forward to finish sometime because I played this for 22 or 23 hours, I believe, on my flash card, and it was a great game. It really was. One of the things when I picked this game up was that I was thinking to myself, this should get a sequel too someday, and like I'm not in a rush because if this ends like every other Golden Sun game and I just have to wait for the next one, I might as well wait with playing this all together. But if you played it, then please let me know what you thought about the game because I heard great things about it, and all the hours I put into the game was amazing, even though I didn't finish it. So awesome stuff there. Last two are part of one and the same sad story. The other one much more sad than the other. But let's start with this game right here. And it's my first Ys game. Ys is a series I love now, and it's one of my favorite series, most definitely. The game is Ys, the Ark of Napishtim, Ys number 6. This doesn't say Ys 6. I believe they removed that from the North American cover. But this is a import game I did not import. I bought this at a store long before I even got my own PS2. So I had my own memory card though. So I would bring this game to friends' places. But the thing is that this, because it's a North American game, it doesn't work on any PS2. Over here in Europe, I had to have a modded system to play this game. And some friends actually had modded PS2s. Modded systems in Sweden seems to be like a very common thing, or at least when I grew up, everybody had modded PS1s, and yeah, surprisingly, many people had modded PS2s as well. So I did play this. The music is amazing. It's just such a blast to play. Like I said, this was my first East game, so I would compare this to the Zelda games on Game Boy and Game Boy Color. It's the top-down action RPG, and because you can jump in this East game, unlike the other ones, I can't remember if you can jump in number 5. You probably could. But anyway, this had a lot more platforming because of that. So this has some great dungeons, and just the levels are so good. But I never finished the game because I lost the memory card for the game. Very unfortunate. I got super far in the game and I played it a whole lot. I believe it's like 20 to 25 hour long game, and playing that much just when visiting friends, that took a a long time. But the thing is, I remember exactly where I ended playing this game, and I will replay it. There's a version for PSP, which I heard is not as good, but I might check that out. But then also there's a like the definitive edition on PC, which I did buy, so I will replay that, I think. But yeah, good memories playing this game. I think it's one of the better E's as far as memory goes. It might just be nostalgia, but a great game nonetheless. And I'm very very sad I never got to finish my initial playthrough of this. But most definitely a game I love. And then there's the last game. So why I saved this to last is because it's a very important game to me, and it's also tied into the story how I lost the memory card. So this is a bit tough for me, and it's gonna be a very bittersweet, or rather just bitter, end to the video. But the game is Tales of Rebirth anyway. Probably one of the best Tales games, and easily one of my favorites for sure. Tales of Vesperia could be the better game, but this is top tier Tales for sure. I got this game 10 or 11 years ago now, back when the game was released. Imported it from PlayAsia. You guys might know that site. So I didn't import a full price game to play at friends' places like I did with Ease. What has happened was that I met my first girlfriend, and she had a PS2 system, which we together modded actually. So that's when I started picking up more PS2 games. I imported more games, and I actually burned quite a few discs as well now that the system was modded. So that's how I entered the world of PS2, and I played uh, Tales of Destiny 2, Tales of the Abyss, Tales of Symphonia, all of those great games. I still have those right here, of course. And this is the very same copy that I got back then. This coming from Tales of Eternia on PS1 and Tales of Destiny 2, which are both sprite-based games, or games with sprite graphic or pixel art. This game is like the PS2. What can I say? It's a supercharged 2D Tales game. It looks amazing. You have to see it for yourself. It has like large sprites. It almost looks like an arcade game. That's what I'm trying to say. That this doesn't have the usual pixel art that you see in PS1 games and on the PSP and DS and stuff like that, or Super Nintendo. This has like huge sprites in combat, and I thought it was so amazing back when I played it. The story is really good too. I played it blindly in Japanese, but I did read up the story online. I would every now and then go to my PC and just read through documents and then discuss the story over Tales of Central. That was a forum I visited every now and then, just talking about Tales with a lot of good friends back in the day. Very nostalgic. But Tales of Rebirth, why didn't I finish this game? Well, I got super far into the game. I don't want to spoil anything really, but in the middle of the game, I believe, there was a twist, or not a twist really, but something huge is happening in the game, and it opens up a bit. It gets a bit more serious and quite sad, really. So, so I was. It had like new music at this point too. So I was like filled with determination to beat the game. I played it day after day. I had a great time with the Rebirth because I was playing it very slowly up until that point. See, every now and then there's like you have to enter passwords in this game and you have to answer yourself. So somebody will ask something and then you have to write the answer yourself with Japanese letters. And that was tough for me. It took me like a few weeks every other of those passwords, um, as far as I remember. But the thing is that I had a great time playing this game, and it took me so long to get to that major part in the story. But when I did, I played this every day. So I was gonna bring my or her system really, the PS2 console with my memory cards, all the controllers, Tales of Rebirth, and some of my favorite games to a friend of mine, and you see where this is going. For me and him and some of our other friends, we were gonna be a bunch of people and play games together. So I brought my whole setup, and still to this day, I'm not sure if. See, I had the console, the memory cards, and the accessories in a separate bag, and then I had my own bag with like my usual stuff and the game. So that's where I still have the game. But the bag with the console got stolen or lost. I do not know. But when I arrived at his place, I did not have it anymore, and I was devastated. I would actually cry for the whole day and maybe more. I can't remember even. It was, yeah, it was such a sad memory because with the memory card I lost my save for Napishtim, my New Game Plus saves for all my Tales games, and yeah, I never got to finish Tales of Rebirth. And there was probably a lot of more PS2 games. Castlevania Lament of Innocence is another one I had a great time with, but I never finished because of that. So a very sad story to my experience with the PS2 as a console, and the reason why I never finished Tales of Rebirth. The game was later released on PSP, and that's one that I've been thinking about replaying, but like this is one of my favorites and one of the best Tales games, and I believe it will get released in English one day. One day I will get to replay this game in English, so I'm waiting. I could replay the whole game in Japanese again, but I know that this game will deserve. It deserves a English release, and I think it will have one day. So, been waiting for that, and until then, I really don't know. I'll manage anyway. There is a English playthrough of the whole game on YouTube. Somebody who edited his Let's Play subbed the whole game, so you can watch that. But I think the mechanics and the battle system in this one is so good, and the skits too. I don't know if he translated the skits. So play this game, people. It's amazing. Or you do like I do and wait for a initial or like eventually English release. But that will end this video. Tales of Rebirth, the game I love the most out of this pile, and yeah, another one I never finished. So that'll be it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, get gaming.